I always wanted to shoot 1:1 forever, and especially because I think of the aspect ratio of the large albums, the music vinyls, and the CDs also. I was always jealous of their graphism. I said I want to shoot like this, and I did a commercial like that about 10 years ago, and I really loved it. And I proposed to Xavier. We did the Tom à la ferme together, the last film of Xavier Dolan, and then we did a music video for Indochine. It's really nice. I'm very proud of this music video. And I proposed to him to do this 1:1 ratio, and he fell in love with it. He really loved it so much, and he said, "We're doing the next film in 1:1." I said, "No, you're crazy. We can't do that. Not the whole feature." And then we started thinking about the fact that it will open up sometimes, and it'll give liberty, and so the 1:1 to me is the Vivian Mayer portrait ratio. I saw it on the plane last night, the documentary about her. And it's always been the perfect portrait ratio. You want to shoot somebody like this, a bit of too much headroom, very, very centered. Back of the head or front, it's the way to shoot a face, for me. And because this film was two things. It was about characters, mostly. That's what it's about. I think it was a good ratio for that. And also because we wanted to pressure them, right? So that's the reason why it was a coup de cœur de Xavier. He said, "This is it. I loved it too much on the music video. Let's go for it on the film." But then I think it really applied well to the emotional and psychological prison that we want to create with the film for the characters. Well, the first time is not imaginary. The first time he's on a skateboard, on a longboard, and he opens up the frame himself, and it's sort of a moment of liberty. It's just that it's everything is starting to go well with him. He's starting to study again. He's on the right path. It's the first turning point of the film where we're going somewhere good, and the three characters at this precise point really feel great liberty, and we could have finished the film there and say it's a nice ending. And so we wanted to open up the space and feel that we're going forward, and sort of give the impression that we continue going forward like this, But then in that montage sequence that it finishes off with the frame coming back down because we receive a note from somebody suing the boy for $200,000. So the frame gets back down and we plunge in the drama again. That's the first sequence. The second sequence is a dream sequence completely. Is how Dai, the mother of this troubled son, imagines his future. And that's completely imagination. It's imaginary. And both the important thing about both these sequences is it's all about optimism and feeling good and liberty and a good ending to this movie. So that's why we wanted to give the impression to the spectator that things are going to go well from now on, But then, of course, that underlines the fatal finish that's coming up. I know I've got already an edit list of the music of his next film. I know in advance. He writes his film with the music when he's writing the script. He knows that this sequence will be on this music, and so there's nothing. Everything was really planned. All this montage sequence was really, really planned actually, because the first one there's rain in it. The second one there's rain in it, so it had to be planned. Also, we knew we would open up the frame, so we need to frame differently on the set, etc., etc. It was very planned, except that when we're shooting it on the day, it was shot on several days actually, but on the day when it's being shot, then Xavier gets really spontaneous. Even during the shooting of a shot, he will direct actors continuously. He directs actors during the shot, even in dialogue scenes. He's sitting right down here with his monitor, and he tells what the actors should say, like impulsively. It's quite fascinating actually to see. So in the camera movement and stuff like this for these sequence, yes, there is a bit of improvisation, but we know that it's this type of lighting in advance, this type of set, this type of actors, etc., and we know the actions. But yes, there's a bit of improv with camera movement and a bit in the acting also. Me, all the time. And I kept telling him, for this scene in particular, I kept telling, why don't we do it? Come on, open up. Let's do another one. And he was very good with that, Xavier. He didn't want us to overemphasize the process of the opening up. He said, if we start opening up all the time, just because there's a bit of freshness or of joy in the scene, we will lose the effect of the actual opening it up when we do it. We have to do a statement. We have to be. He was a real artist, I thought, in that sense. He really kept, but I was completely frustrated with the 1-per-1, like early in the shoot, and I kept telling him, come on, let's open up right now. Look at how beautiful. I showed him, the whole image, and I told him, look how beautiful it would be if we shoot this, for example, this running around with the flare, with the shopping cart and everything. But he was very, very steady, and I thought he had a lot of integrity. He didn't want to sell out to beautiful images. He wanted to keep his statement. He's one of a kind. He's not like... I've worked with very good directors before him, Denis Villeneuve, for example, and very talented directors. But Xavier has something that the others don't have. And I'm not talking about talent or anything. It's more of a... He's a star. He's an actor also. And he's young. He's a prodigy. He's done 5 films. He's 25, and he went to Cannes with 4 of his films, and Venice with the other. And he's extremely intelligent, and most of all, he's very ambitious. I've never seen anybody in all my career as ambitious as him. Any businessman, lawyer, confounded. I've never met anybody that has so much ambition, and he holds on to his idea very strongly. He's a real fighter. And I find I'm very lucky to work with him. Sometimes it's very frustrating. He's also extremely emotional, but he loves doing cinema. So when he's on a set, he's very happy and he communicates it very much. But actually, it's too much sometimes, especially now that we were shooting with Antoine-Olivier Pilon, who's 16-year-old. He was 15 years old, the young actor. They were running around everywhere. Like they were like really bad kids, And I kept having to take one and say, shut up now, don't you talk to him, and let's do the shot, and stand in for your shot. And and also when he's sad, he's super sad, and when his love life is not going well, the whole crew knows about it. So he's extremely emotional, and when we get on a set that morning, we talk to each other and say, did you talk to him? How is he feeling today? And if he's in a good mood, we'll do so much.